Welcome aboard everyone, Simon here from the Wales of Wall Street. Video here on Klever KLV on the exchange. Guys, we're going to go through a couple of top bits of information here, just a quick update video. We have done an intro video to Klever as well. Do go check that out, we'll leave a link at the end of this one. We did get involved with the Klever team yesterday, briefly on an AMA that they were hosting on Twitter, iSpace, so we'll play that in a bit. But yeah, guys, very much going to be looking around this whole aspect of the roadmap, what's coming up in the near future. Just got on the screen right now, just a few screen grabs from my phone, just showing you a brief intro to the app. It's free to download. Description has a link to that as well. But for me personally, I think it's one of very nice, intuitive, designed, beautiful kind of UX and UI, certainly in the many projects that are out there. I love the staking capabilities, the ability to buy and sell and use the exchange, which they've just launched recently as well, both on desktop and mobile. And the ability to as well receive Klever as a payment, or even indeed pay for things with this token as well. There's a multitude of things on the app. Go check it out. But I just thought I'd give you a sort of a quick sort of rundown as to what that looked like. But going to the roadmap, guys, this kind of entails with the AMA that we went through yesterday. So let's just have a little play of the AMA yesterday with the guys and just the questions that we asked. So let's go.
Has definitely the best answer for that. Do you want to go ahead?
Sorry, I can't hear everything.
Can you repeat quickly the question, Wes?
Yeah, sure. Two aspects. Do you think there will be some integration of perhaps some wealth management features in the near future? For example, like crypto.com have like a tax calculator integration and other features that may perhaps be influential in our traditional banking systems, which then leads on to the point or question about, do you think you have the capacity in the near future to be able to replace traditional banks and allow people to make a complete switch over to a fully decentralized system that has power to the people? And do you think that you can be a big part of that and certainly a leader in that area? Thank you.
Yes, I think banks are a necessary evil, at least for now. I'm not looking to replace the banks. I think it's more like a technology that enable people to build decentralized applications. I think it's really important to understand how we build these things, right? And it's always important to understand what we are looking to build with, right? Sorry.
Regarding the tax part that you mentioned before, we have on the roadmap on the Klever exchange to ship and deliver some tools to help our users to make the tax payments and all this stuff very easily. So it's not so it will be not shipped so soon, but in the next 3 months to 6 months we will have some new tools available for the users in this kind of tax things, you know.
Sorry, my kids was here. Yes, we are doing. Thanks, Felipe, for completing. But yes, we are doing a project that is all about wealth management, right? And it's the custody product, and it has a lot of banking features that replace traditional banks based on database. We will be launching this product in the next 6 months. Sorry.
That's great, guys. Thank you. And we always continue to to talk about your great project, wallet and exchange on our channel consistently. And thank you very much for the work that you guys do. It's incredible.
Thanks, Rails. This
Thank you, man.
You mentioned, sorry, Misha. This product you mentioned is one of the products that we most want to work, because we do have problems to generate our reports for taxes. So it is on the pipeline. We will be developing it next year, and hopefully it will work for everyone.
Thank you, Dio. I know we're running late in time. I do want to have at least one more person come up, has an interesting question. Ajit Mitra has a question regarding laws and regulations being implemented in India. I'll just say it. Actually, Ajit, you want to say it? Go ahead.
So yeah, they kindly covered a couple of the questions that we had. It was very interesting to see perhaps the development of Klever moving forwards. And kind of going back to the roadmap, guys, because they do have mentions of like wealth management, and this is why I asked this question in general, because we obviously have like retail customers, right? So people like you and I that use banks traditionally. Wealth management to me, especially as you know the development of crypto, development of assets come across, maybe potentially some integration into traditional stocks might be part of this, but the wealth management aspect to me was an interesting question as to like what kind of developers are in there. And I always think like one of the big ones is certainly tax. I think there's so many questions out there still a lot of grey areas. And I do like what crypto.com have done recently, you know, integrating the tax system to help you with that. And I think now things are becoming more automated, and of course, like with blockchain being traceable and everything like that, I think it's better if we had it all in the kind of one system that you're using. Now, of course, blockchain is very traceable throughout, and I think that will help a lot. But it's great to see with the app that they've got, the exchange that they've got, now entering things like hardware wallets. They've got obviously developments in their own blockchain and staking capabilities, new launches of the browser and everything like that. I think it's going to be a really big year for Klever. I'm really excited to see the development, whether they hit the actual time frames, which they have done throughout this year for sure. I can't talk about the year before because I'm quite new to Klever, maybe 3 or 4 months ago. So these developments are quite key, and I think obviously the wealth management is probably going to have a big reliance on the main nets and the developments of the main nets, especially maybe blockchain 2. Maybe those have to develop first before they introduce the extra mechanisms. But the Klever Bank is also very interesting. We've obviously just shown you sort of a brief screenshot of what's on the app currently. But I think there's so much more to come, not just from the roadmap. I'm sure they'll add to this further and further. And I just think that in general, the team is fantastic. It's very responsive, both on social media and, of course, like we just mentioned with the AMA. I think it's got legs for sure. And I compare it probably to the likes of crypto.com and maybe the likes of Proton recently, where the Proton wallet is obviously fantastic as well. However, I think Klever's maybe got a bit of an advantage in the sense of the exchange being already in play and the aspect of things that are coming forwards. Proton's still obviously quite new in terms of its launch aspect. So I'm really keen to see this space. I just generally have a big interest right now in the various different wallets, the various different platforms for exchanges and wallets integrated as one. Because I truly believe, and that's why I asked the question, AMA, do you think that you are able to replace the bank? And they said obviously they don't want to try and replace the bank, but they believe that it's obviously an unfortunate necessity. We still have to rely on them in some capacity right now. However, the developments moving forward may just give us enough power and enough trustworthiness within ourselves to take back the control mechanism and what we want to do with our money moving forward, especially in the space that's to come via blockchain and DeFi. So hopefully you guys found that interesting. We obviously had another question after our one on the AMA, but they did kindly do a little shout out to us to appreciate our channel. We'll leave that at the end of this one as a little celebration, as it were. But guys, let's just take a quick look at the chart for KLV. So obviously what we've got here, very nice price point in my opinion, considering it's still relatively new, it's still building awareness. It's obviously not hit the dizzy heights of nearly 17 cents that we saw on the launch sort of infrastructure at the beginning of the year, and that's understandable that the big correction would have occurred. You get this in pretty much most projects, to be honest, once they've launched. I can see this in a few years' time, these kind of areas being probably very low down, and you know, it would show as maybe a little blip in the chart when we look maybe in a few years' time. But in that period of time, we've had some nice fluctuations up, and we've started to try and discover new support lines. Particularly, we had resistance here around 6.6 cents earlier this year, around September, and more recently around the November period as well, just over that 5 cent mark. So we're really trying to now avoid the big drops, i.e. to the original kind of price points, and trying to reflect a new price point based on where we are on the roadmap, where we are as a project with Klever. And that's obviously something I like to discuss as kind of like the real price, if you like. I'm trying to, I haven't accumulated some KLV for a while. I probably will today or tomorrow, as we're in a bit of a correctional period still. You can see here on the histogram, I'll just pull that up actually. We've obviously got quite an overselling period right now. I thought it was going to tail off, but then of course we had the crazy day a few days ago across the market in general, from leverages failing and crypto FUD out there and everything else that was going on. So that was understandable that we kind of had a second wave within the big wave itself on sell-off. The MACD is showing a bit of a gap still here and still widening. So I do anticipate we're trying to stabilize ourselves at this kind of 3 cent mark. So that's why I'm probably going to put a bag in today, and then I might wait a couple more days, see if it comes down a bit further. Maybe just dipping under that 3 cent mark just to accumulate a few more bags of KLV. And then finally the RSIs here. So we've got the green one here indicating the 14-day around about 35, and I think that's quite respectable. That's why I said I'm going to put one in now, because usually my threshold is 40. We're at 35. I'll probably see if it comes down to maybe 32 or so in this 2-week one, and I think that would probably be where it indicates just under the 3 cent mark. We'll have to see how that plays out. But I'm also interested in the monthly one, which is at 42 right now. Again, sort of reiterating in my mind that over this month's period, we're at a very good reflective stage, and the 90-day is very much looking quite similar. If that 90-day comes down to around 45, I'm very much going to bag quite a lot, because then I'm reducing my risk. Again, this is not financial advice, this is what I'm doing, but I'm reducing the risk of it coming down a lot further if it ever does come down anymore. But there's more upside to it, and I can start strategically thinking both on the 2-weekly, the monthly and the 3-monthly in terms of my selling strategy and DCA mechanism on the way up. So that's my thoughts and theories around that aspect. So as you see on the indicator here, it's suggesting a strong sell. I mean, don't take that too honestly, as it were, but of course it's about stabilizing, and it looks quite clear right now that we're touching on. Let me just get rid of this, by the way. This is the one we drew in before. So it's hitting these areas that we drew as buy areas a long time ago. So it's back to this area again, and it's very much a nice touch point along this area. So you've got like 3.5 here in August. You've got the dip down in 28th, 29th at 3.3. Similarly, in the end of October as well. So it's what I like about this is that we had the dip down on the day that we just spoke about a few days back across the whole market, and it's retraced back to this nice level here. So if we can stabilize here over the next few days, maybe into next week, I think this could be a good foundation for us to kick KLV upwards, and we'll probably see more resistance again around that 4 cent mark, certainly around 4.5, and then probably back at this over this 5 cent mark, which will we'll analyze that a bit more detail nearer the time. I'm not expecting that to happen kind of overnight, as it were, probably over the next few weeks. But this area is really interesting to me. Like I said, I'm going to put a buy order in now and see if we have any further dip come down. But at the moment, it's looking quite positive, to be honest. The other reflection, guys, just to be clear, so when we had the launch here, obviously lots of intake. When you've gotten past these initial points, you're in very much a price discovery mode. The price discovery, in a sense, on trying to find the support level on the way back down, is a long process after a launch sometimes, because you just don't know the definition of it. So that's why I'm really interested to see, because you've got this big drop down here, albeit over a good number of months, but it's now fluctuating. That it's very much waved along there. We tried to boost ourselves up on a couple of occasions, it's failed, but the momentum is still slightly on a small downward trend, not as big as it was before, but certainly just need to be a bit patient, guys. So at the end of the day, guys, like I said, Klever as a project, irrespective of the price, is phenomenal. I can see the potential, and I'm looking forward to seeing the developments of this. Hopefully you're enjoying it as well. And like I said, do download the app. Use the link in our description. It always helps the channel out. We don't actually get sponsored by anyone or anything like this. I just only throw out ones that I believe in, one that I've perhaps demonstrated myself, or indeed the ones that you guys throw at me on the People's Crypto episodes. I want to keep it honest, keep it real. If there was anything I didn't like, I would definitely tell you. I'm not kind of emotionally attached to things, but I'm certainly passionate about this space, and especially when I see really good things within it. So hopefully you're enjoying these kind of videos. We'll update you guys on Klever maybe next week if we see any development in the chart and any successes that we've had in our moves over the next few days. But until then, guys, I'm going to leave you with this very nice outro from the AMA yesterday regarding our channel. Thanks for watching, guys. We will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Whales of Wall Street channel. First of all, thank you for your support, and thank you for all of your insightful videos. The content that you create is really spot on, and then you can really see not only a huge amount of research being done behind it, but you truly understand the vision, not only where we're heading, but also where we come from. So thanks for that, man.
Thank you, man.
Awesome.